Man, wasn't that pizza so good?
It was delicious.
I mean, I gotta be honest though, I feel like I could eat a couple more slices.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God. Did you hear that?
What was it?
I think our tire just blew out.
No way.
I know, man. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to pull over and check it out. Can you believe that? Oh, hold on.
Murphy's Law again.
Here we go. I can't believe this. We have a spare tire, but we don't have a car jack or a tire iron.
Oh, hi guys.
Bill, what are you doing here?
Well, it looks like you guys were having trouble and I thought I could help out.
Well, yeah, actually, I mean, I was just saying to Steve here that we have a spare tire, but we don't have a car jack or a tire iron.
You mean like this?
Well, yeah, actually, but Bill, what in the world are you doing walking around with those things?
Well, never mind about that. Just give me 5 minutes. I can get this all taken care of.
Thanks, Bill.
All done.
Wow, Bill. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you know what, Bill? Hey, why don't you come in and take a ride with us?
Will do. Sounds great.
All right. All right, everybody, we just picked up Dr. Bill Polonsky in the back with us. He is a world-renowned diabetes psychologist, written multiple books. The guy is world-renowned, and not only did he just fix our tire, but it's a good segue to talk about when you kind of break down with your diabetes. So, Bill, say hi to the folks.
Hey guys, really glad to be here.
I mean, honestly, what luck that we picked up Bill Polonsky. So, it's a great metaphor. We just broke down actually with our car, but sometimes you break down with your diabetes. And what does that mean? Well, that can mean a couple things. One, you're breaking down because of that day, you're high, you're low, or it could be long term. You're dealing with complications, kidney problems, like whatever it is. So when I think about breaking down, I don't have to think too long ago. Just last night, I don't know what happened with my pump. Sorry, I'm driving by Braille here. My blood sugar, I think I got an inclusion. I went up to 300. I had to wake up in the middle of the night to change everything. God, what a pain. And Steve, you were just talking to me about dealing with complications.
Yeah, the thing that gets to me is, having type 1 for 51 years, and I have developed my list of complications. I'm like a textbook, with a eye, kidney, nerve disease, a little bit of heart issues. And I'll tell you what, I mean, those things bum me out more than anything else. And I get those same frustrating issues with unexpected highs and lows, but those are the type of things, these long-term things that keep adding up, I rely on my support system for.
And how powerful is that, Steve, you know a lot about type 1 diabetes. I mean, honestly, more than probably anybody in the world. Not to get your ego any higher, but that you're dealing with these complications, these highs and lows, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just speaks to how difficult this disease is to control. So, Bill, fix us. What do we do? We're bummed out. We got type 1 diabetes. What do you say?
Well, this is worse than a flat tire, that's for sure.
Okay.
When I listen to you guys, it makes me think, living every day with diabetes, just like all the rest of us, it's like we're driving around in a not perfect vehicle, like this old bus we're driving around in.
Hey, don't speak ill of her.
And if there's one thing that you guys, I think, demonstrate so well to everybody who's watching this right now, is that odds are pretty good. Odds are guaranteed everybody's going to break down from time to time in the different ways, whether that means running into complications like you, Steve, or not having perfect blood sugars all the time like you, Jeremy, for all sorts of reasons that could happen. And I think if you don't have friends like you, it's really not surprising that many people out there end up feeling like they're the only ones. And you get frustrated and you start kicking yourself, thinking, why can't I take better care of this? And you don't even realize it's pretty common you're going to break down from time to time, because diabetes, as you know more than anybody, doesn't always cooperate. So highs and lows, and it's nuts making, and that's why part of the game is to make sure, do you have reasonable expectations? Are you thinking you're supposed to have perfect blood sugars all the time? Are you thinking that you don't really need any help and you should be able to take care of this all on your own? Which is where, just like I served and helped you fix your flat tire, we all know it makes a big difference when you got folks in your life who can help you out when you're breaking down.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because people will say, what makes the biggest difference in my life? And I can talk about CGMs, and I can talk about pumps, whatever. But to be honest, it's my buddy Steve here. And not because he's an endocrinologist or the smartest man alive or the most handsome man alive, which is all true, but just that he's somebody else living with type 1 diabetes, like all of us. And when I call Steve, it's not, hey, can you fix my carb ratio? It's, oh my God, can you believe it? I was high, or I had this low last night. And just somebody that gets it is just so helpful. Steve, am I the most important person in your life?
You know what? When it comes to me, my support people, it's not my family members, They love me dearly, but they get too theatrical about it. It's really you and Bill. And,
is it me then Bill? Like close second?
Whoever answers the phone first. But, but it's a good question, Jeremy, because you both give me different types of support. That's both very helpful. I thank Bill many times that when my vision was really bad, before I had the cataract, before I had therapy for my macular edema, we go bike riding, and Bill would have to say to me, hey, there's a bike rider coming the other way, and because I couldn't see him very well. So I don't think I ever could have gone even to exercise, which really was another form of relief for me, without Bill just saying, hey, let's go, and being my watch out person. And whenever I get bad news on my health, I end up emailing you. You break the rules, look into my electronic medical records for me. And, you always put a soft twist on it.
I think the message there is that, like, a support network. And that might be your traditional friends and family. That might be somebody you just met online or at this conference.
Yeah.
To talk about these things. It's so helpful. I got to tell my bathroom story of my diabetes frustration, because these guys hadn't heard this story, but I literally the other day, this was actually probably a year ago, and TMI, I was in my bathroom sitting on the toilet, and I looked at my CGM on my phone, and my blood sugar was high. And we all get high, but this was like that unexpected high. Like, why am I high? What's going on? I didn't even eat. And my blood sugar was like 300. And I took my phone and just threw it against the bathroom door. And I still have this like crack on my bathroom door that I see now every time I go to the bathroom, which reminds me of these like frustrations I have. And sometimes I look at it and I laugh. And sometimes I get like bummed, like whatever. But the point is that you and I are supposed to be like on top of our game, which we are a lot of the times, but we still deal with all this stuff just like you guys are doing. So I would say, number one, get a diabetes friend if you can. Bill, what other like recommendations do you give to people when they're just like, hey, I want to have nothing to do with my diabetes, I want to check out? How do you get them kind of like, bring the emotions down? How do we get back on track?
Well, I think like what you guys do so well is helping your patients and helping your people in your life. How to help them keep perspective, right? Like, yeah, crazy stuff's going to happen. Car's going to break down. Diabetes is going to break down. But what's the big picture? What am I really doing?
Right.
And because you can have, when you have people in your life who are your friends, like you guys are, it also is a chance to celebrate your successes with each other, even if they're teeny tiny successes. It's nice to know that there's somebody out there who can give you some of those attaboys every once in a while, because at least you're trying, right? Like, yeah, the car breaking down, but at least you're trying to fix that flat tire. At least you're putting out the effort, and you'll be able to do it.
I love the idea of celebrating successes.
Yeah.
I don't think we do that enough.
No, yeah. I think that's really important. We don't get enough of that positive reinforcement. I love my Dexcom report has like your best day, which I love, because how like used are we going to your doctor and they're like, what did you do on September 3rd and your blood sugar went here, and why did you screw up, versus like, hey, here is a day you did good, let's talk about that. That's actually very, very helpful.
Oh my God, we spend so much time trying to convince healthcare providers and people with diabetes to at least begin by noticing what they're doing right. Where are you putting out effort to try to be successful, to celebrate those? And it doesn't mean ignore when things are not working out, but we know, God, I don't know how many times I've said this, but no one's unmotivated to live a long and healthy life. Everyone's putting out some effort, and everyone could use some attaboys, because when you're driving along all the time, not only does it break down, but it gets old to be driving all the time, right? It gets old, and sometimes you want to just get a break from this. And if you can't, at least you got people who are rooting for you.
The other thing is to actually remember, what is the goal? The goal is not to have a perfect blood sugar. Like, I don't even know what that means. The goal is to live a long and healthy life. So people get hung up on like, I want my blood sugar to be 110 all the time, my A1C to be this. Let's just get you in a safe, healthy range. Let's get your A1C less than 7. Let's get your time in range above 70%. Let's get your hypos like as low as possible. And if you're hitting those goals, For God's sake, celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, there's all types of patients, but there's a lot of people that come into me and their time in range is 92 or in their 80s, and they're asking me how I can do better. And I'm like, dude, tell me how to do what you're doing, because you're doing fantastic.
You know, I feel like almost everybody I see, it's helping them try to find a compromise between taking the best care of your diabetes you possibly can and also having a life so you don't have to think about your diabetes. And what I see everybody doing, either consciously or unconsciously, is trying to find that right compromise point, that perfect point of balance. And thank God we get to talk about time and range now, right? Because we know, we talk about international goals of like 70%, not 100%. And that means you're gonna guarantee you're gonna have a lot of time where things are wacky.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you said to me the other day, Bill? You said, 70%, that's our goal. That means 30% of the time you can be out of range.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of liberating. It's like,
Exactly.
like 30% of the day,
Yeah.
you know what?
We don't want you below range 30% of the day.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But, I think, the other thing that I always, strikes me is that we are all individuals. Something that really bugged Jeremy one day may not bother me, but then vice versa. And people deal with different diabetes issues in different ways. And the ones that really have a hard time, we refer to you. People like super afraid of hypoglycemia, so they never like to get below 300. I mean, we know all of you folks out there have your own different worries, and that's the way it is. We're all individuals,
I think that's something that I've really realized more so now than ever.
Try to stay off the bumps.
Yeah, jeez Louise, who's driving this thing?
Yeah,
Is
while
that
you're
there
doing
really are different kind of categories of people with type 1 diabetes in terms of overall blood sugar control. There's you guys out there that they want your A1C at 5, and they never want to be above 140. And then there's the complete flip side of people that are terrified of having lows and never want to go below 200. And then there's the people that are doing well but think that they're not. So I think identifying these big kind of like mental patterns we have with diabetes is way more important than your carb ratio and your sensitivity factor. All this kind of
When
crap.
they say living with diabetes a 24/7 disease, I love your analogy about you didn't ask for this condition, you're never on vacation, all that kind of stuff. It's so true. We always have to be thinking, and that could get tiring.
Get tired of being in the driver's seat.
Well, I think I feel better. I'm glad that we found an internationally recognized diabetes psychologist to fix our tire, which seems to be working pretty well. This thing's driving like a dream.
Bill, you're better than AAA, man.
So, Bill, thank you so much for helping us out. Like, what do you say? Should we just drop you off back under the freeway where we found you, or?
Oh yeah, and I'm always happy to be taken along for the ride anytime you want. If I can ever be of any help, this is always fun to hang out with you guys. Always.
Yeah, now we know where to find you.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Here's your stop.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks, dudes.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.